Salve galera da anime aqui na BGS 2018 e neste momento estou aqui com um verdadeiro ninja do meu lado, com Daniel Pesina de Mortal Kombat. Hi Daniel, how are you?
Good, Claudio. Thanks for having me.
Here you're as a crossover character.
Yes, I am Sub-Zero, but still Johnny Cage.
Awesome. So, Johnny Zero, I'd like to ask you a little bit about the older days, the first Mortal Kombat, when you guys did the motion capture. Back then, did you have any idea that the game would become so big?
No, back then when we were going to do the game, when John Tobias approached me to help him with the game, he said we were only going to do 200 arcade cabinets. So it was going to be a really small game, but I liked the idea of doing the fantasy game. And then having input that, it really, I thought the game was going to be really good. But since it was only going to be 200 cabinets, I didn't think it would really go anywhere.
Of course, since you're Johnny Cage, I need to ask you about that special move, the split leg. Yes.
Yes, the nut punch.
The nut punch. Is it hard to do? You don't need to show me, but back then, is it hard to do?
No, because I'm a martial artist. I was very flexible. I was younger, so the whole thing is we had the game that was going to be called Mortal Kombat, and when we presented those ideas to Midway at the time, they actually didn't like Mortal Kombat. They said no to it, but they liked the idea of a fighting game, and they were going to give it to Van Damme. That fell through, and then we went back to doing Mortal Kombat. So John was like, as a joke, you should do like the split and punch somebody in the groin. And so I was like, okay, I could do that. And he's like, okay. So we filmed it a bunch of times, which was uncomfortable because it's on concrete. And then when you have to do the split over and over again, like 50 times, it's a little uncomfortable. But, you know, we did it, and everybody loved it.
So it started as a joke.
Yeah, most of the things in the early days started as like jokes. Because, again, I know John from the neighborhood. So way before Mortal Kombat, we knew each other and hung out with each other. So we would always be goofing around on set. But an example is for the ninjas. Originally, there was only going to be one Lin Kuei. So John told me while we were filming Raiden that the next character were going to be two ninjas. We would shoot one ninja and then color swap it. And I teased John. I was like, why are we going to do that? Why? There's so many other characters that we can put in there, because John had a bunch of characters that he wanted in that first game. And he's like, well, running out of time, and this is a way to do two characters in one shot. And then Carlos was like, well, that's being lazy. And then John's like, no, it's not being lazy. This is crunch time. And I was like, well, we were teasing him. Because he would be working like all 24 hours sometimes. All the programmers would drop everything on all the changes back to him. And if you have 5 programmers dropping stuff on you and you're only one artist, he was there all night. So because we were teasing him, he was like, you know what? These Lin Kuei are going to be brothers, and one brother's going to kill the other brother, because Carlos and I were kind of goofing around with him, teasing him. So all of a sudden, that's how the ninjas became rivals, because of us joking around with John about being lazy, which he wasn't, but it was just teasing him.
That's a great story. Yeah.
I hope that made sense. But yeah, it was like, oh yeah, one brother kills the other brother. And I was like kind of shocked, because it's me and my brother. So yeah, it's kind of funny that rivalry is through that particular part of the story.
And you also did the ninjas in the first games. Is the suit as uncomfortable as it looks to fight in it?
Actually, it's more uncomfortable than because it was so low budget that John and I went to buy the ninja costume. And because the children's size is cheaper than the adult size, he bought the biggest child size ninja outfit. And so when I did through the first kick, first move, it ripped it. So again, we had to put it back together, and we only had a couple of safety pins. So we used the straight pin. So later on, as it ripped more, every time I kicked, I would get poked with a needle, because that's how we put it together. So that was really uncomfortable.
Amazing. And then the game came out. It became a huge hit. Had a lot of sequels. How does it feel to see such a legacy, such a beloved game by people all around the world?
Yeah, I really love it. You know, I like to see people play it. It's something I helped create, and it's awesome. The only thing I regret is not being Raiden, because Christopher Lambert, Highlander, acts like my brother. So I'm jealous of that.
It happens. At least it's all in the family, isn't it? Yeah. Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you show us a special move?
Hey, the enemy, get over here. You got caged.
Fatality.